Today, we are going deep inside your own head. We're going to uncover the actual science behind your most brilliant ideas, and I'll show you exactly how to flip the switch on your brain's built-in innovation engine.
First things first, forget any idea that you need some special tool or a rare gift to be innovative. Because the most powerful, most complex, creative engine on the entire planet, it's already wired up right between your ears.
I mean, just think about this for a second. Every single day, your mind churns out a staggering 60,000 thoughts. That is a constant, non-stop storm of raw data and processing power, and it's running 24/7.
Now, get this. New research suggests that a massive 40% of all that mental activity is pure, untapped creative potential. You literally have a genius factory running in the background, just waiting for you to clock in.
So the big question is, how do we access it? Well, it all starts when we realize that creativity isn't some random light bulb moment. No, it's a predictable, three-phase neural recipe that, believe it or not, anyone can learn.
Let's just bust the biggest myth right now. Creativity is not a gift reserved for a select few. It is a trainable process. In fact, brain scans show us that those peaks of creativity happen when two very specific brain networks sync up perfectly. And the best part? Anyone can strengthen that connection.
All right, phase one of this recipe takes us to a place we're going to call the purple playground. This is your brain's sandbox, where all the wild, the raw, and sometimes the downright bizarre ideas are born.
So, meet your default mode network, or DMN for short. This is what scientists call your brain's rest network. And amazingly, it's active for about 65% of your waking hours. You can think of it like a creative DJ, constantly remixing your old memories and faraway concepts into brand new, fresh ideas.
You know, the DMN really thrives when you stop trying to focus. Things like mind-wandering, daydreaming, even those famous shower thoughts. They aren't distractions at all. They're actually the DMN's prime time, and they can boost what's called divergent thinking by 40%. The single biggest enemy to this whole process? Multitasking. It can cut the DMN's effectiveness in half.
And you see this play out in the real world all the time. Aboard J.K. Rowling on a delayed train, that was her DMN sparking the entire Harry Potter universe. Newton's apple, Archimedes' bath, even the invention of Post-it notes from what was supposed to be a failed glue, these are all classic examples of the DMN connecting the dots when our conscious mind just takes a break.
Okay, so an idea is born in the playground. But out of thousands of ideas, how does your brain spot the winner? Well, that's the job of the Salience Network, the lightning-fast green zap that triggers that incredible aha moment. And this is just incredible. When your DMN cooks up something truly valuable, the Salience Network detects it and switches your brain's entire operational mode in just 300 milliseconds. It is a literal neurological zap that basically shouts, "Hey, pay attention to this." Now here is the real difference maker. Using fMRI data, we can see that highly creative people aren't necessarily smarter. Their brains are just more agile. They can toggle between these idea and focus networks up to 3 times per second, way faster than the average brain. This is a skill, and just like any other skill, it can be trained.
So the aha moment has struck. Now what? Well, now we enter the final phase, the Blue Forge. This is the workshop where that raw, brilliant idea gets hammered into a workable reality.
This is where the Executive Control Network, or ECN, takes over. It's the brain's focus network. So, if the DMN is the creative DJ spinning wild tracks, the ECN is the disciplined producer. It takes all that raw material, applies logic, filters out the noise, and refines that initial spark into a polished, usable solution.
See, the real magic happens in this collaboration. The DMN is all about divergent thinking, generating endless possibilities. The ECN, on the other hand, specializes in convergent thinking, zeroing in on the single best solution. Let's try it right now. You've got 30 seconds. List 3 new uses for a brick. Go. Okay, time's up. That brainstorm? That was your DMN. Now pick the best one. Feel that? That's your ECN kicking into gear.
And this phase is all about persistence and refinement. I mean, Thomas Edison famously failed over 1,000 times before he perfected the light bulb. Each one of those failures wasn't a dead end. It was his ECN iterating, testing, and refining that initial spark from his DMN until it finally worked. Okay, so we've got the theory down. The science is cool. But how do we actually put it into practice?
let's dive into some really actionable, science-backed hacks to train this neural dance for ourselves.
So you want to strengthen your creative engine? Here are 5 proven ways. Just 10 minutes of meditation can increase the links between your DMN and ECN by 15%. A simple walk boosts a key idea-generating protein in the brain. Getting proper sleep can literally double your problem-solving efficiency. Seeking out new experiences feeds your DMN more raw material. And even taking short, strategic breaks can help you find 18% more solutions.
And if you want a massive, real-world example, just look at Google. Their famous 20% time policy is essentially structured time for their employees' DMNs to just play. And the result? It's credited with creating about half of their biggest innovations, including things you use every day, like Gmail and AdSense.
Mastering this natural process is already incredibly powerful. But what's next? We are right on the verge of using technology to actually supercharge our own biology.
Some of this emerging neurotechnology is starting to sound like straight-up science fiction. We now have EEG AI systems that can decode DMN idea patterns with 90% accuracy. There are even VR simulations that are training that critical network switching skill, making people 25% faster at it. This is truly the next frontier.
So, if you remember just one thing from all of this, make it the simple recipe. The purple playground to generate ideas, the green zap to spot the winner, and the blue forge to build it into reality. That's the cycle. That is the recipe for genius. Your engine is right there, waiting. The only question is, how are you going to turn the key? Think back to those hacks we just talked about. A short meditation, a simple walk, even just taking a break. Which one will you use to ignite your creative engine today?